friends. Thank you so much for joining me. We are talking about dealing with creative slumps. We're going to ask the cards. I already kind of started a reading and something was happening with the camera, so I have part of my reading done, and I'll demonstrate to you what I think that the cards are speaking about and what cards jump for me so far. But let's talk about creative slumps. So the creative journey is an ebb and flow, right? It's like this, and it's okay. Oftentimes we beat ourselves up, we feel guilt, we feel, just deflated when there's been a certain amount of time that's gone by that either we've experienced a slump or a creative block in the different creative outlets that we're exploring. And what I'm hoping today in doing this video and in sharing this with you is that I inspire you to know that this isn't something that should be eroding your confidence. In fact, this is an opportunity to learn a bit more about you, about your creative journey, and how to best support yourself wherever you're at in that journey. Sometimes there's a lot of wisdom that comes when we are in a slump, when we are not creating videos for our channel, when we are not doing readings for others, when we are not writing, when we are not creating art. There is something there. Oftentimes there is. Maybe you need more rest. Maybe you need more play. Maybe you need a little breathing room and to step back from a particular project or endeavor you're working on, and you just need to give it space. You need space. And sometimes it may be a signal. I would say this is not all the time. I wouldn't say rare, but there are times when it may be time to move on from something, or to pivot, or to do something differently. So when you start to feel a creative slump, don't think it just means that you're lazy. Don't think that it means that you're not supposed to be doing something. We get to use the cards to further investigate what it is, right? There are also external and internal factors that could be at play to what may be impacting your creative journey. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on, and you have to deal with all that external stuff going on before you can get back into a creative space. And then there's other times there's a lot of internal stuff going on. You may be a little down, a little depressed. Maybe you've got a lot on your plate and there's a lot of anxiety and stress going on. There could just be that you just are really tired. So there's internal and external factors that could come to play. And so I wanted to come up with some questions on how we can further explore this. I've come up with 3 questions. Perhaps if you think of other questions, add it to the description box. If you're a member, you can add it to the Ko-fi comment section. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, like if I publish this video later on YouTube, you can leave it in the comment section, different questions you would use to help you further investigate what your creative slump is all about. So, first question we have is, what area is the slump happening in? So I decided to do this spread. I'm feeling better now. I was kind of going through a slump, and I think it was caused by an external factor, which was the hurricane in September, the end of September I was dealing with. But I just also I think even before then, I was starting to feel a lack of inspiration in certain areas that once brought a lot of excitement and inspiration. So I shuffled my tarot deck, and the first card that jumped was the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. And then the oracle cards that jumped for me was guilt, which is often what we feel when we have a slump, by the way, when we feel like we're not efforting or pushing through that slump, right? I got he-wolf and abandoned. Those were the cards that jumped first to this question, and then my camera wigged out or whatever it did. So then here we are. I think I know what this is speaking to, and it's speaking to a certain aspect of my social media creation, my Facebook group, and perhaps a little bit my Instagram. My Instagram, I add to it when I add to it. I don't, it's not feeling like something I have to like totally, do anything with. It just is. And so I don't feel any real guilt whether I work on it or not. But where I feel a lot of guilt is my Facebook group. If I'm not creating enough activity and flurry, when I'm seeing this Eight of Pentacles, if I'm not, being a teacher and helping others, like, I feel like people come to the Abundant Life Tarot group on Facebook to learn something. And if I'm not able to provide that, then, I'm failing in some way. That I've abandoned them, I've abandoned the group. And then there was a time I was really enjoying leading the tarot studies, and it started to become a chore. I felt like I was doing a lot of efforting. When you see the he-wolf, for me, it represents like the divine masculine. Effort, yang energy, move forward, advance, this and that, And when I was looking at this Eight of Pentacles, before the camera wigged out, I was looking at the different herbs and stuff, and I'm getting ready to embark on doing a revisit to my very first deck that I was doing tarot studies on, which is the Herb Crafters Tarot. And so this is what signaled to me. This is about my Facebook group, my main Facebook group. I have two Facebook groups. One that's very private for my Ko-fi Poised to Leap members. For us to congregate over there. And then there's the main Facebook group. And so it's speaking to the main Facebook group. That's where I'm feeling a lot of resistance. That's where I'm feeling and the resistance is showing up how? With guilt. Feeling like I've abandoned the group, and also wanting to kind of abandon it. And I'm wondering if it's like, do I need to pause the group in between tarot studies? I don't want to forego tarot studies. I still very much enjoy doing it. I've already decided in 2023 I'm only going to do like one main one, maybe two, but I'm feeling just like one main one. And I want it to be a more collaborative effort amongst some of the more seasoned readers. We put it on together. I want to do something like that. And I want to do mini studies where it's very casual. And I don't want to abandon the group. However, I don't want to continue on in this way. I'm not inspired anymore. And I need to listen to that. There's some kind of wisdom that needs to come through about that. So now we're going to ask, what is the cause? So now I'm going to get to a little bit more of the cause of this slump with my Facebook group. Or is it the tarot studies? Because we talk about other things in the Facebook group, but the main thing was the tarot studies with the occasional, collecting decks conversations, and I feel like there's a community there, and I don't want to mess with that either. So use the cards to ask, what is the cause of my particular slump? So what is the reason? We've got Eight of Cups, another 8. It's interesting. What is the cause of my particular slump? And often the clues are, in terms of like the 3 questions I'm posing here, the answers are already in the cards to 1 and 2, questions 1 and 2. What is the cause of my particular slump? What is the cause? Okay. So the cause is there's inside of me maybe wanting to move and to grow and to move on. I also, there are times when I have an aversion to Facebook in general, not just that group, but just in general. Facebook, in terms of groups, are a great way to house information and to gather group members. It works really well. I'm a part of a lot of groups. I come and go as I feel called to, and I feel great about being a part of different groups. But there's this resistance in me to even be on the main Facebook group, my page that I've had since 2008, 2009, the one where your friends and family are on. I don't always want to be on there. There's always a lot of just noise and a lot of different stuff going on, and it just overwhelms me. So there are moments where I just need to escape. I need to walk away. I need to move to emotional higher ground. And I feel guilty when I do that. And maybe I need to design something around explaining to folks from a heart-centered place that just because I step away for a moment, it could be because I'm busy. This is time intensive. Coming up with the tarot study, it's very time intensive. It's not something that it happens overnight. I have to plan for weeks on it, and then I have to make sure I'm actively involved. It's very time intensive, and as my business grows, as my tarot reading business grows, and as my membership grows, things I'm really passionate and feeling victorious about, here's the victory card, it starts to make it more aware of for me that there is this gap. There's this gap here. Maybe I could, and then I got optimistic. Maybe one of my Ko-fi members suggested that I, pause the group in between studies, or maybe I pose to my Facebook group, going forward in 2023. Is there any admins who want to, to lead the group? Post, in comments and generate discussions. Who wants to really make this, space continue to grow and to thrive, to be victorious? Maybe that's the solution. But I need to accept the fact that there's a part of me that needs to kind of step back and walk away and not always feel like I have to give all my time away. I've even tried to have folks get involved and pitch in, and it's like people are, I guess, busy, and they aren't necessarily trying to do that. So that's fine, but I have to do what's best for me. And if I want to use the Facebook group for other creative outlets, maybe it's time to explore what those creative outlets are. So now the last question is, what can I do to overcome this slump? What can I do to overcome the slump in this area? 10 of Wands. I got a burden I'm carrying, folks. It's time to let that burden go. Let's see what this deck says. What can I do, Spirit, to overcome the slump? I'm going to reshuffle and think this. What can I do to overcome the slump? Fork in the road. That's interesting. That's interesting. What can I do? Oh, that's too many cards. What can I do, Spirit, to overcome the slump? I think I'm getting the idea of what to do, though. I think it's a combination. Let me show you. I think it's a combination of lightening my load, and I've already kind of started doing that, saying I'm only going to do one tarot study, and if I do it, it's going to have more people helping. I need to also share the burdens I've been carrying with the Facebook group and see if there's any admins who want to take the lead when I can't be there. I have one admin, but I'm not burdening him with doing any tasks, and so maybe it's time to enlist some folks who really want to keep it going. And if they say they don't want to, like if there's nobody who steps up, maybe that's the information I need. Maybe it's time, maybe I've reached a fork in the road and it may be time to pause the group, or it may be time to pause it until the next thing I have coming up, maybe a course that I want to get people excited about. Maybe I open up the group when it's time to discuss different things that are going on the channel, or maybe when the tarot study opens up again, that's when we unpause it. So I'll be at a fork in the road. But the Ten of Wands is clear. It is time to move forward into an empowered new beginning and to lighten my load with this endeavor. Why? Because it needs to feel more relaxed again. It doesn't feel relaxed. It used to be a source of ease and relaxation for me, and it has become so laborious and taxing. So Spirit is like, no, that's not what this was designed to be for you. So you've got some information to move forward. And all of these cards with these 3 questions inform the other and talk to one another. So I can sit and journal with what came up in these cards today in this reading and refer back to it and consult it and ponder it and sit with it and meditate on it. And I encourage you to think of particular areas. Maybe you already have an area in your mind when you do this spread, right? And you're like, okay, this is the area of focus, but what area inside of this specific focus is the slump happening in? Is this block? What area of it? What aspect of it? And then you can dial it in further. What is the cause of this slump or block, right? And then what can I do to overcome it? And oftentimes, I always tell this to folks who are learning tarot and oracle reading, that the other cards for the other questions will talk to each other. So you'll get information from all of the cards collectively when you look at them on the table and realize that they're all answering the 3 questions or however many questions you have. So I'm excited to hear from you. Have you an area that you need to explore a bit further as to why you feel some resistance there? Why is there a block there? What is the slump? Do you not even know where the slump exactly is? This would be probably a very helpful spread to start to further investigate and explore that for you. And I feel lighter already. The answers are revealed to me. I can go forward empowered. And even when I get ready to embark on doing this next mini study, I'm going to go with ease. I'm going to just post what I feel like posting and encourage people to post what they feel like posting. We'll gather once every other week just to talk about working with that deck. It's going to be easy peasy. And I'm also going to put a call out for admins because in 2023, I'm going to take a step back as the lead. I want other people to start taking the lead, and it may put folks in a victorious position. They may feel inspired and positive and optimistic about working with this group and growing it to the next level, so that way they have confidence to maybe start their channel or maybe start their own Facebook group or start a business. So it gives them the confidence, right? So it helps. It's a beautiful circle. It's a beautiful circle, and I have an opportunity to do that and to give myself a break, and then to come back to the Facebook group more optimistic, with more time on my hands, right? Less guilt, not feeling like it's abandoned. There's still stuff there's happening. People are still, and then of course, if people are not interested in taking the lead, I'm at a fork in the road, but I have peace with walking away and doing what I need to do to move forward and lightening my load. Whoa. So let me know what you all think about this video. I'm going to pose it to my members first so we could talk about it, talk about slumps, either in our little Facebook group or during one of our Power Zoom meetings or in our reading labs that we do each month. We could talk about it, or even in our one-on-ones with some of my members. Let's talk about it. And then when I do publish this to the channel, then I want to hear from you all in the comment section or in the main Facebook group. Where's the slump happening for you, and what are the cards saying and how you can overcome? All right, my loves. Well, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do me a favor and like the video and also subscribe. And if you're watching this as one of my near and dear members, I thank you. I thank you for your support. I thank you for just always being a source of inspiration for me. It's just an endless well of inspiration. And so thankfully I have that going for me, right? Otherwise I'd be like, oh God, I feel so guilty. I'm just a loser. No, I'm just kidding. Really just kidding. All right. Love to you all. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.